Warriors NRL fanatics, welcome back to the YouTube channel, and I'm going to give my thoughts on International Rugby League and the games that happened across the weekend, and give my thoughts as well on where International Rugby League should be heading. Now, across the weekend we saw New Zealand versus Tonga, Fiji versus Papua New Guinea, Cook Islands versus Samoa, and we also saw as well Lebanon taking on the Malta Knights on the Wednesday night in midweek. Now, that game, Lebanon and Malta especially, did not get enough recognition. It really didn't. And look, I know that Lebanon and Malta didn't have many first grade players in there, which is fair enough, understandable. But to not even advertise that game, especially. Now, it was on KO Sports, and not even on Foxtel. It's still an international game. I don't understand why that was not even promoted a lot more. That's why there was a lot of people that weren't aware of the game happening. And yes, I know there was a lot of people that criticised the game and said it wasn't a great game at all. Which, personally, for a team that only had one training session. Yes, that was filled with mistakes, but a team that had one training session and a team that didn't have any NRL players in it, look, I didn't think it was that bad of a game, and I enjoyed it. I reacted to that game as well, and I just thought it was great to have a game like that on midweek, on a Wednesday night, down there at Belmore Sports Ground, and it was a pretty decent crowd as well, and I thought that was awesome to see. And another game for me, which stood out across the weekend, was Tonga and New Zealand on the Saturday. And look, Mount Smart Stadium was packed to the rafters, full of Tongan supporters, and it was just great to see, a fan base which, was passionate about their country. They absolutely love it there. New Zealand's got a big population of Tongans. The Kiwi supporters did come out and support the team as well, but, it was just awesome. To have that atmosphere there at Mount Smart, and the first time in a long time since there was a game being played there, and I enjoyed it. It was just brilliant. And Fiji as well versus Papua New Guinea down there at Campbelltown Sports Ground. It was just great to see that. With the Fijian hymn, as well as the the war dance as well, and that was great. And also, Samoa as well versus the Cook Islands. We know Cook Islands don't have the recognisable players in their side, but the Cook Islands, look, first half wasn't great, but the second half, they showed a lot of effort and pride, and the scoreline did blow out, but, they gave it their best shot. So, International Rugby League, for me, it was a success on the weekend for sure. The viewership was great too, according to a tweet that I read on Twitter. The viewership was really high for all those games. We know Origin especially is massive in Australia, but to see a very good viewership for those Pacific Island teams as well was just great. And look, the disappointing thing for me was, after these games, I read a tweet on Twitter as well, and this was from the International Rugby League chairman. Now, unfortunately, this is the last time we'll get to see mid-year internationals on the NRL calendar, because next year, State of Origin is going to return to the Wednesday schedule, the Wednesday night. So there will be no rep round. And for me, getting rid of rep round after the weekend it's disappointing. I am very disappointed with it, because the players that can't play for State of Origin, they can't play for Queensland, can't play for New South Wales, who get excited to put on their team jersey, their colours, and go out there and represent their countries on the field, will no longer get that opportunity, because it's just State of Origin next year. That means there's no rep rounds and no way for you to represent your country, the likes of Australia, New Zealand, Tonga, Fiji, You know, there's no way you can represent your country next year because there won't be a rep round, which for me is very gutting. It is. Now, the NRL needs to have a long think about this because over the years, the perception is from a lot of fans, including me, that the NRL don't care about international footy. They only care about what's in the pockets, which is State of Origin. Because State of Origin is such a big game for many years, for many decades. But we've got a Rugby League World Cup happening at the end of the year. And the Rugby League World Cup, for me, once the NRL's finished, once the season's done, there should be a lot of promoting going on to the World Cup at the end of this year. There really should be. There should be a lot of promoting. You know, NRL should be putting stuff on their Twitter. They should be putting stuff on their socials. They should be advertising it on their website. But knowing the NRL, come the end of the season, they probably won't even post as much about the World Cup as they would because that's the way they are. You know, that's the way they think. They think that Origin's just the pinnacle of the game and it's Origin, club footy and nothing else. So, my challenges to the NRL is to get more recognition for the international game. And the international game across the weekend, you know, we got to see it on Channel 9. Channel 9 was showing it this year, which was great. I thought it was a good idea to see that NRL decided, no, what, we're not just going to have it on Fox League, we're going to have it on free-to-air live as well. So that was great. That was awesome. So, yeah, look, International Rugby League, for me, you know, I personally said it as well on Pro Enzo's YouTube channel, on his podcast last night. So go and check that out at the Ankle Breaker podcast. Go and give that a watch. So I'd like to thank Pro Enzo for having me on that podcast last night. We talked about it, and there was a topic about International Rugby League, and I said that International Rugby League should be the pinnacle over State of Origin, and I stand by it. I think it should be. It really is the pinnacle of the sport, and representing a country should mean a lot more than representing your state. Now, I live in Queensland here for 9 years. Now, if I had to choose who to play for as my personal preference, I would have gone and played for New Zealand over Queensland. Now, call me crazy, but that's what I would do. And you know, some people just go, oh, look, I'm going to play for state because, you know, it's great to play for state, represent Queensland, represent New South Wales. You know, fair enough, but there's also a money attachment driving towards that decision as well. You know, you get a lot more money playing for Queensland or New South Wales more than playing for country. But that's what I believe, personally. That's where I stand on International Rugby League. I'm an advocate for the game of International Rugby League, and I want to see it grow, and I want to see it continue to be bigger and better. And I know a lot of people say, oh no, International Rugby League's boring, and you know, there's only 3 teams in it. There's only Australia, England, and New Zealand that are going to win the World Cup at the end of the year. Well, I completely disagree with that statement, actually. And going off internationals and going off the last couple of years, we see what Tonga have done. You know, they've grown another leg there. You know, they've had a lot of players put on the Tongan jersey, like Jason Taumalolo, you know, represent Tonga. You know, he originally played for New Zealand. You know, that's where I think it goes. You know, where I think it should be. It should be International Rugby League. And there should be more International Rugby League fixtures on the calendar. And after watching this week's games, which I enjoyed, and it might be a crazy thing to say this, but I was more excited on the weekend for International Rugby League over a State of Origin game on the Sunday night. You know, I still watch State of Origin. I still enjoy it, don't get me wrong. But I just enjoyed sitting there watching Fiji taking on Papua New Guinea, New Zealand taking on Tonga. I was more excited watching those games than watching a State of Origin game on a Sunday night. But, yeah, that's where I see it. That's where my thoughts are on it. And, look, I'm looking forward to the World Cup at the end of the year. I'm going to try and coverage a lot more International Rugby League content on this channel from now on, because I think it needs more recognition around it. And the game deserves it, and it needs it, because I think that's where the game should be going. And, yeah, that's what I think. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. What is your game of the week in terms of rep round? You know, which game did you enjoy the most? Did you like the Fiji game? Did you like the New Zealand Tonga game? You know, share what you guys think down in the comment section below. And where do you think International Rugby League should go? How would you like to see it evolve and moving forward? And don't forget as well to subscribe to the channel as well. Click that subscribe button down below, guys. You will not be disappointed with the content that I put on the channel. Previews, reviews of Warriors games every week, win, lose or draw. Reactions, live reactions, streams to games, watch-alongs, you know, you name it. Collabs with other YouTubers and content creators as well. I try and do as many as I can with those content creators, as well as also some game day vlogs as well, and you know, a bit of news, New Zealand Warriors news, as well as player signings and all that stuff. So you'll see that stuff on this channel, so make sure you subscribe to the channel. It really does mean the world, and also does help a lot. And also, again, I'd like to thank those who have recently subscribed to the channel, as we have reached the 1,200 mark. And yeah, let's continue to grow and yeah, and help out as well. And it does really mean the world to me. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys, and I appreciate all the support as well as the comments every week I do the content. But as well as, don't forget to like the video as well. Click the thumbs up on the video, guys. Click that like button, and also don't forget as well to make sure you click the bell as well to be notified when I upload a video next, or when I go live on the channel. But thanks guys for watching, and yeah, I'll see you all soon for another video, which will be my NRL tips for round 16.